You just want to jump into it?
Yeah, let's roll.
Let's roll.
Yeah,
let's
let's
do it.
Let's have this. Yeah. Okay.
You're not shy of microphones.
No, not at all.
You live. This is your life.
I was born with one. So
Yeah, man.
Literally.
So you're a showman.
I try to be.
We're gonna get into that.
I figured.
All right, let me welcome everybody. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the I'm Here For It podcast. Real people, real conversations about real life stuff. I'm stoked about this. And if these conversations have been meaningful to you at all, would you just do me a huge favor? It'd be a huge help if you just like, share, rate it on whatever platform you watch it on, whether that's YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, or wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. That would be such a big help. I appreciate you all. Your acceptance of this podcast has been awesome. I'm just thankful for you. Welcome to I'm Here For It. And I am here for it. And so is our guest. I have an intro for this guy because I'm pumped, and he might be nervous about that. But it is my awesome pleasure to proudly present the stylin',
Oh, well, here you go.
profilin', crazy dancing. I don't know if I've ever seen you crazy dance, but sassy for sure. Flashy, but always classy. Often imitated, but never duplicated. Marching with attitude. Playing with pride. The groove in the grove. The Mr. Ken Gibson.
Wow.
How'd I do?
It was great. We actually added another one to
Did
it
you
this
really?
year. Yeah, because of the show we're doing, we added right before you say right at the very end, the oh so funkadelic.
Hey.
So
For those people that don't know, you are the guy, the band. My favorite title. You wear many hats over at the school. Music teacher, drama, production. What do you call it? You're the director.
I'm the director,
producer,
musical
you're the
director,
executive director,
yeah.
everything.
I'm the
everything.
guy.
And my favorite though is a marching band.
Yeah.
And you direct the marching band. You've been doing that for how long?
This is my 29th year, 30th year teaching, 29th year at Pine Grove. Yeah.
So my kids have been in the marching band, and I have, and you have a kid graduating.
Yes.
And I have heard rants about if Mr. Gibson retires after his son is done.
The word
I'm gonna
retire.
Be so mad.
That's a. I'm willing to explain that. That's not a real word. I've got a couple more years before retirement is really real.
That's good.
But what I have said is, I've walked up to a bunch of doors over my career.
Yeah.
And every time the door opens, something stops me. So what I have said is, if some of those doors open again, and he's no longer there, it might be the opportunity.
So that's good. That's breaking news.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm breaking. You're not gone this year necessarily.
Not necessarily. It has to be, and the other thing is, it has to better my family and better my situation.
Yeah, right.
It's not just going to be like, okay, I'm done with this, I'll walk away, because I could see myself doing this till I retire.
Yeah.
But it's got to be something to better my family, better my situation, and because through my career, I've applied for, I'm at the, and it will not be. I could also guarantee it would not be another band job. I'm done. Definitely done. I put my stamp on Pine Grove. This was my dream from early on, but I do have my administration degree, and so I have looked at that. I've looked at other school districts. And it's got to be the right fit.
Yeah.
And I don't just have, like, over the years, I haven't just haphazardly said, okay, I'm going to apply over here. I'm going to apply over here. I always look at the school district and try to figure out, do I fit there?
Right.
And then, okay, now we'll go look at it and go from there. There's been a couple. There's been
some tempting ones.
Oh yeah.
But you're still here.
Yeah.
And for right now, the most important thing for the people that I care most about is that you're not going anywhere right now.
Right.
They'll be very happy that we broke that news.
Yeah. I'm sitting right here, being honest with you right now, I'm not going anywhere. So.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah.
So those people that don't know, we're laughing about my intro. You wrote that. That's the intro for the marching band.
Yes. We wrote that because, well, it's tongue in cheek. Everywhere we went, we saw all these schools, the sound of the pound and all this other stuff. And it was all just hype. That's
Yeah.
all it was. It was hype, you know. You'd get these bands that, and no offense to them, I'm not trying to try to diss them or anything, but the sound of the pound, and then all of a sudden, like 10 kids walk across the field. You're like, well, that's a pretty small pound, you know. And so, and we also saw some things like in the competition world, which we don't venture into. We always found that here's this school that's like, you know, they're bragging so much about how they're the number one on the East Coast and everything, and then you find out, well, they didn't compete against anybody. They were the only one in their little category. They were the only ones.
Yeah.
So tongue in cheek, one day we're just like, well, who are we? What are, you know? And it's like every wrestling gimmick thing that I could think of, we put into one kind of thing, and it just became this. But then we live up to it. We try to live up to it. You know,
that's what I was like waiting to say.
Yeah,
it's not just a thing. You guys bring it.
That's it. Once we got it, we were like, that's what we are. Now live up to it and do it. Yeah.
And you guys do.
We try.
I mean, it's fun. It's a fun show.
That's what
so
it's
maybe
about.
we should just jump right into that. The Pine Grove band, marching band, is huge. It's huge.
Yeah, for our school it is.
And you know, like, I haven't been to high school football games in a long time until my girls started playing in the marching band, and then we were at a ton of them. You know, all of a sudden, just watching, supporting. It's fun. It's a fun show. And the thing that like impressed me most about the band is I'm looking out the first couple shows. My oldest is in 8th grade. You know, we're apprehensive because she's an 8th grader in the band, and we're like looking out, and there's like, what, I don't know, 150 kids or something crazy.
We're at about 120. That's 120? Our average right now. Yeah.
I'm like, that's like half the Pine Grove school,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a quarter of the high school.
A quarter of the high school. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're looking out, and they're having so much fun, and there's so many of them, and then you feel bad for these other groups where it's like 10, 15, 20, 25. And those kids are just as into music, but they don't have you've created, and when you were talking about family, the first thing I thought of is you kind of have your family, and they're obviously the most important, great family. But you've kind of created that family vibe for the band too. It's
important to us.
Yeah.
And that came from me being in high school. When I was coming through high school, Pine Grove High School, our JROTC program was what the band is now. We had 150 kids in the JROTC. The commander that was there, it was his wife was, it was the Dokes, and his wife was the actual assistant. She did everything for us. She was like a mom. She made sure we did our SATs. She would order our prom flowers for us. And she sat in a back office. And when you came up through the ranks, like as you were older, you were upperclassmen and officers, you would go back to the back room, and she'd sit there. And if you had a problem, she'd talk to you. If you know. And our band only had, my senior year at Pine Grove, we had 10 kids.
Really?
And I was one of them. And it was hard to be one of them. It was hard.
So you know what that's like.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
you feel
sad.
What some of those other kids are feeling when we're going to these games, and they got
and that's one of the things I try to tell the kids. Like, you know, if we do something that's crazy, and some of those kids are apprehensive about, I don't want to dance, I don't want to. You've got 119 people with you on the field. How about these bands that have 9 people with them on the field? That's you'd be apprehensive. You're sticking out like a sore thumb. If you don't do what we do, that's when you stick out. Because because we're doing this whole thing, and so then when I graduated, we had this guy come in, a new band director, and he took me on. He said, "Be my assistant. You want to go to college. You want to study this. Be my assistant, and we're going to build this together." And we started, and when he left, he was there 7 years. I think we were up to about 85 people. So we went from 10 my senior year, and then by the time, and I graduated college, went on, got a job somewhere else, but I stayed with Pine Grove. Yeah. So technically, I think this is my, this is probably my 42nd band camp, at Pine Grove. And he left, and when he left to do other things in the county, they said, "Will you stay on?" And we just kept that philosophy. It's family. We're going to do things together. We're going to build it and build it. And you have. Worked.
And now you got. And you're doing that in a culture where kids don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
It's in our culture today, it's hard to get volunteers. You never seem to struggle to get volunteers to help put on the shows from parents and people that are associated with the program. And also, we live in a world where kids are less active in stuff outside of, their house.
Yeah.
They're playing youth sports less. They're involved in less extracurricular programs. They're not in as many clubs. If it's not just easy and right there in front of them, a lot of times they're not doing it.
Yeah.
So kind of in that culture where it's hard to get participation, you're crushing it on participation.
Well, it also starts young. We get them young. We in fourth grade, and I've tried to tell some other bands this. In fourth grade, we start about 70 to 80 kids on an instrument.
Yeah.
You're going to lose half. So you're already down to 40. So now there's your number. And then that 40, you're probably going to lose half again by the time they get to 8th grade. So if you only start with 10 kids in 4th grade, you're going to get 2 by the time, the high school. And we keep telling the elementary schools, you got to go out and you got to get these kids, you got to get them involved, show them what they can do. And then that number 20, that's where we get our 120, from, because it averages out. So
you have there's something to that. It's not just about getting them young. You're showing them that they can do something. Mm-hmm. They're obviously enjoying that they're accomplishing something or having some success or learning an instrument, which is tough.
Yeah.
Especially tough to listen to in elementary school. Yeah. I remember those concerts and you're just like, all right, good try.
Yeah.
But they have to be having fun too.
Right.
And it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it is. And I said this to the kids the other day. I know I'm the band director. I'm supposed to say it's about the music. I was never that guy.
Yeah.
I was never that guy. I would go to college, and I'd hear all my friends talk about, oh, did you hear this new piece? Did you hear? And I'd just be like, I'm in the wrong place. I don't belong here. And I really felt that way all the way through college. I don't belong here. I'm not this guy. And one of my college professors said, well, if I said that to him, I said, I don't belong here. This is not what I want to do, because I'm not the guy that's looking at the next piece and looking at this. And he said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to entertain people. That's what I want to do. That's what I've always wanted to do. And he said, okay, so go do that. And just forget what they're talking about. Go do it. I said, yeah, but I'm going to get laughed at if I'm playing Bon Jovi on the field. He goes, yeah, but if you got more kids than everybody else, who's laughing? And he's been a great mentor through the years, and that's the same thing. It's like, yes, I want them to play music. I want them to learn music. It's something they could keep with them. 85-year-olds are still playing their instruments. You don't find many 85-year-olds on a basketball court.
No.
But it's something that can stay with them. But it's also about, did you get that feeling when the crowd is yelling back at you? Did you get that feeling? Did you get that feeling when people are standing up? Did you get that feeling when you're getting your hot dog and a lady walks up and goes, I wish our band was like you? That's the feeling. That's what they need to have.
So there's so much in that little piece that you just my brain, I like having these conversations, and usually I latch onto something that's like, and my brain's just going nuts in that last little 5 minutes. There's so much there.
Yeah.
Kids are looking at you guys. Because you've taken chances and done things that maybe aren't traditional in your field. Mm-hmm. You've created a bit of an environment where I think kids look at that and go, that looks like a blast.
Yeah.
We get to play cool songs, do crazy things.
That helps.
And have a lot of fun.
That helps. That certainly helps. And then you have to also have that element of, okay, but I'm still going to challenge you.
Right.
I'm still going to make us better every time.
Yeah.
So usually that comes more in the concert band season, when you give them, okay, we're going to do music from Frozen, but we're also going to try this piece that you guys have never heard before in your life, and it's going to be difficult, and you're going to try it. And they will fight you on that all the way. Can't we just play Frozen? Break out Frozen. Like, okay, but you're going to do this too. And it's a struggle, but then you do have a good chunk of kids who realize when they're done playing that second piece, hey, we did something. That's pretty neat.
How do you manage that balance? Like how do you, because that's a good balance for everybody to be able to manage in their whatever place they're at. How do you create something that is fun but also challenging? And
sometimes you have to hide it.
Really?
Yeah. Don't let them know you're challenging them. Like, I what a podcast to say I lie to them. But I'll say like, hey, this piece here, you should be playing this piece. This piece is marked that it's a middle school piece. Come on, let's go. Let's get this. And then they'll kind of step up a little bit, and when you're all done, by the way, no, that's college level. I fibbed. It's college level, and I wanted you to work hard at it. But you do. You have to hide it. You have to, last year's show was a great example. That everybody thinks Disney music is like, oh, it's Disney music.
Right.
Come on. It's some of the hardest music you've ever played. Those soundtracks are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all we did was play Disney music, and okay, let's play it, And then when it's all said and done, that was probably the hardest song you guys have played in maybe 5 years. But it's a small world, yeah. But the arrangement was top notch, and you did it. So
before we get too far, this mentor of yours,
yeah,
that was a guy you met in college.
Yeah,
you still talk to him?
Yes, he's still a musician. I go to see him as much as I can. He knew my dad, which was a neat thing. Okay, so here's a backstory about college. I never got accepted to college. I entered Lebanon Valley as an undeclared major.
Okay.
Because I was a drummer, but I was a self-taught drummer. I played saxophone in high school, but I was terrible at it. But when you become a music major, they want you to have you got to have an instrument, So he was my saxophone teacher in college, and he knew me coming in. He knew my dad. I'd never met him before, but he knew my dad. And I went in and I played the piece on the saxophone, and I was terrible. It was downright just bad. And the head of the department came, and he said, "Well, you didn't get accepted on saxophone, but you can come in as an undeclared major, and we'll do this every year. We'll audition you every year." He said, "But I want to tell you, you've got a guy in your corner." And he said, "Tom Stroman is the guy, and he's in your corner, and he says you're going to do great things. So we're going to stick to that." Every year I went back and auditioned, and every year I didn't do well because saxophone just wasn't my thing. That's right. What I actually started on flute when I was in elementary school, and then they moved me to saxophone.
Like Rob Burgundy.
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, Ron Burgundy. Yeah.
Jazz flute.
Yeah, and I got made fun of, but that's the instrument my family had, so that's what I could afford.
Right, yeah.
And so they moved me to saxophone, and then drums came along. My dad needed a drummer. He said, "Go in the basement, learn these songs." And I think you could do it. Went in the basement, I learned the songs, became his drummer, and that's how it went. And then this guy just said, "Listen, I'm going to stand by you for the next 4 years, and we're going to get you graduated." And he was just a tremendous. Half of my sax lessons were not playing the sax and trying to get better at sax. It was, okay, I don't know this, and I don't know this part of music, and I know, okay, sit down, we're going to tutor you. We'll get this through. And if he never would have taken that chance, I probably would have dropped out of my freshman year, because I actually went to another professor and said, I can't do this. I shouldn't be here.
Okay, so this section is becoming my favorite section so far in this podcast. One, because you clearly are living in your purpose. And most people would have quit with, you can't play the sax, we're not letting you in. And when people hear that, I think sometimes they wear it too much, or they take that into their identity, and then it's easy to hit resistance and then just give up. Yeah. But there's something inside you that kept driving you. Did you always knew this is what you were born to do, or? Well,
I owe a lot to my dad, because he was a musician. That's all he ever did. He did nothing else. He wasn't a plumber or anything. He was a musician. He toured. Until I could go to kindergarten, we were on the road. We didn't even have a house. We toured.
Really?
Yeah. And in those days, he was playing. Early on, they were playing in the circuits that would take him to the Copacabana in New York, and all these, up and down the Atlantic City, every single casino. They would play in the lounge in every casino, and it was like a show band. Yeah. He was a musician that was a show band, and so I would tour with him and go everywhere with him, and literally I remember being 5 years old and sitting behind him in the nightclub where nobody could see me, because he played organ, so he would sit on he had this big B3, it's a type of an organ, and it's huge, and you could sit like underneath of it, and I could hide there, and I would watch the shows, and I would just be like, I'd just be in awe of everything that was going on. And I could remember the punchlines. And sometimes I didn't know what I was saying, you know?
Yeah.
But I remember the punchline. And then all of a sudden, like, I'd pick up on an impression, and I'd go to my parents, hey, I can be Tony Bennett. And I would do, you know? And he was playing for those people. They were opening for Tony Bennett. They were opening for, when he was in high school, he was asked to go with Patsy Cline. I mean,
Really?
he was like a top-notch performer.
That's awesome.
My grandmother said, no, you can't go because you got to finish high school. But that's what I did as a kid, and then even in elementary school, middle school, I still toured, went with them. We lived in Pine Grove, and I went to Pine Grove. But I remember my 4th grade year. 8 weeks I went to school in Palm Springs, California, and then 8 weeks I went to school in Flint, Michigan, and then 8 weeks I went to school down in Maryland in that year because that's where we were at.
Right,
you know?
That's wild.
And they were just entertainers, and they would, you know, impressions. They had a comedian, they had singers, they had instrumentals, and all kinds of stuff. And so, yeah, and like we would go to stuff like the Ice Capades. I don't know if you remember the Ice Capades.
Yeah, totally.
And we'd go backstage, and he knew all the musicians. And then, like, I'd sit there in the pit with the musicians. Because at that time, they had real musicians. They didn't have recordings. And we'd sit with the musicians, and I'd see all of that, and I got to meet all these other people. And it just was like, that's what I grew up in this entertainment world. So I knew I was going to be a musician. But then I also saw the flip side where, you know, we lived paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
I didn't have the sneakers everybody else had. Because you're not making a fortune, you know.
Yeah.
And so I always said, okay, I'm going to have something else. I want to be a musician, but I'm going to have something else. And didn't know where that was going to take me through high school, but I just knew I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be the best drummer I can be. I was, you know, at 16 years old, I was playing in Atlantic City. I was playing in New York. I was playing all these different places.
So it's like in your blood.
Oh, yeah. Not because I was good, but because I was available and I was cheap, you know.
That's another thing.
Yeah,
like make yourself available. And see
but then
what
you
happens.
learn things like, okay, I hear this.
Yeah.
And
So that mentor guy, he kind of breathed some belief in life into what was kind of like always ruminating in there.
Yeah, I can honestly say, you know, I am where I am because of the help of people.
Well, what's cool is I get to see you do that for a bunch of kids too.
Yeah, but
like,
that's
it's definitely the situation where, you know, I hear the story from you about how you've gotten to where you are because of people like believing in you, standing by you, being in your corner. And yet that's something I see you do with this plethora of kids that are a part of the marching band. You know, like we go to the, how many end of the year band banquets are emotional?
Yeah.
You know, like, but yours get emotional. The kids love it. They're part of the family. You get emotional. Like it's really something special to watch. And man, I wish there were more people out there like that mentor, like you, who kind of breathe life into people. And I don't even think you need to know what to say or have the right words or the right plan. It's just about being in somebody's corner, you know, and believing in them a little bit, and just helping them find their way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not about what you say. It's just sometimes just saying something.
Yeah,
and I've had that happen so many times. A kid's ready to quit band. He doesn't want to do this. And just a quick little note, hey, come on, man. I know you can do this. And you know, we'll be here for you. And all of a sudden they're in it. And the next thing you know, they become your president, their senior year. And you're like, do you remember when you were going to quit? You remember when you weren't even going to do this?
That just happened.
Yeah.
And I don't want to share too, you know, names or anything on here because it's not what it's about.
Right.
But like you shared a story at the end of the year about somebody who didn't feel like they were good enough for the position that you wanted them to fill, which was a leadership position.
Yep.
And because they didn't feel like they were good enough or leader, were about to quit. And you kind of like stepped in there.
Yeah. Well, I think it was because we were trying to make the positions better, make the positions more important, and make the positions really what they should have been to begin with. And when she got that call, she didn't think that was the role she was supposed to play. And to sit down with her and like, I thought we were on the phone for an hour, and then she tells me, well, it was 3. And I was like, well, how'd you know that? Because I was on vacation and it was 3 hours and I remember it. And I was like, okay. And then the last thing I said to her when she left, she graduated. She came in to see me after graduation, and we're sitting there talking a little bit, and she was ready to leave. And I said, okay, now tell me the truth. Was this year better than any other year you've had? And she said, yes. And if I would have quit, I don't even know where I'd be today.
I wonder how many people could say that.
I'd love to know.
Like there's just a lot of people that just quit.
Yeah.
And then they don't get that whole, this was the best.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable at the start.
Yeah.
And that's like a theme that keeps coming up. Uncomfortable is the enemy of growth.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to get it. Like that happens all the time too. I still have a girl, man, this is probably goes back 10 years. I remember the night she got it. She was a senior. And I remember the night that, she fought me tooth and nail through her senior year about staying, and her parents said, no, you're going to stay. And she was with me since she was in 8th grade. And I remember the game. We were playing Tri-Valley. And we finished the show, and standing ovation from Tri-Valley. And Tri-Valley at that time was a huge band too.
Yeah.
So to get their admiration was a big deal. Standing ovation from Tri-Valley. And I just happened to look her right in the eye, and she's crying. And we're walking off the field. And I'm like, is something wrong? What happened? Did you hurt yourself? And she's like, and she turned to me and she's, this is a true story. I swear. She said, I get it. I just got it.
Wow.
And I was
That's
like,
cool.
wow. Yeah. Like you just got it. Yeah. That moment where everybody stood, we mean something here.
Yeah.
Even if it's for 15 minutes, we mean something.
Oh, that's fun to watch too.
Mm-hmm.
Take it a little bit in a different direction here, but I get to be at the field from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. I've helped. You've had me be the MC or whatever guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you call it, announcer.
Yeah.
Which was a blast, a total blast. And that was a lot of fun. It was the same year somehow you talked my wife into wearing a
dinosaur
blow up dinosaur costumes. It was a fun show.
Yeah,
very creative show. But I remember that show, other shows, walking around and just hearing other parents and kids from other schools. One sticking out in my brain, I'm walking behind this group of younger parents with their kids around them, and they're clapping, intensely clapping, and then cheering for the Pine Grove band. And then as I'm walking by, saying stuff like, I love watching this band, they're so good, that was so much fun. That's a common thing. Yeah.
And we've had some great moments over the years of other student sections coming over and joining us, from the other team.
Really?
We've had other bands want to come over and ask, what song can we play together?
That's cool.
Yeah, we've had some really cool moments, just of people admiring what we do, and that's.
I mean, you've had to push it a little bit. You've had to break out of what is traditional band.
Yeah, because I'll be the first to admit, if you put us up musically against some of these other schools, I would honestly say we'd get blown out of the water, note for note. We're not that band, but entertainment value,
dude.
We're going to entertain you, and we always joke, but we're going to make you put that hot dog down.
It's going to be a great show, and people do put that hot dog down. They get into watching our band perform.
I heard a quote one time. Of course, if you know me, I'm a Disney guy. Bob Iger was the president of Disney. He once said, when we do something from this point forward, we want them to say, only Disney would do it, only Disney could do it. That's how I feel.
That's
when we're done, only Pine Grove would do that, only Pine Grove could do that. And this, I think even this year's.
So what's this year's theme?
This year's funk. It's all about funk. We're doing some Stevie Wonder.
You got some Brick House in
Brick
there?
House kicks it off. I'm going to draw a brand. Superstition from Stevie Wonder, Brick House, Bring on the Funk.
People are going to love this show.
Yeah, I think so. And we had a twist to it where we literally, I keep saying to the kids when we're done, what just happened? I want the fans to say, what just happened? What just happened here?
Can't wait.
We've got some stuff. There's a lot of dancing. We took a year off kind of from the dance. There's a ton of dancing. There's a ton of special effects. I want them to say what just happened.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about your shows. I think people from other schools, people from Pine Grove, certainly, I think, anticipate like what's Ken gonna do next. The show's gonna have this music, and like as parents, like we get the, you know, like my kids are bringing home the music and they're playing it a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I like it already because these are songs that are fun.
Yeah.
But then my mind's always like, yeah, but what's Kenny gonna do? Like, there's gonna be something.
There is, and there is. That's it, and that's the thing. Like, just
and it makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
It makes it fun for the kids. It makes it fun for the audience.
When you can look at another band and you can see them, if they're enjoying themselves, you see that. You know, and I just always think like go that extra mile, go that extra step, if their kids are laughing, go that extra. You know, I don't care if it's a joke. Like I've always joked about like I would love to pull like a clown car and have your percussion section get out of the clown car. Like, you know, how many,
well, you've gotten
close.
In there? Yeah. You've already had cars out, like the Ghostbuster. So that was a movie theme, right? You had Jurassic Park with the you had Star Wars in there. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Kids. Yeah. Young kids loved it. Older people loved it because they were movies from like our I shouldn't be calling myself an older person, but like movies from like our day, right? Like Ghostbusters, those kind of things. What's the all-time favorite show that you've done? Do you have one? Too hard to pick?
Yeah, they've been. I don't know. We've done some great shows. I do think I think the movie show probably was like, I joked, but it's the truth. I always had that dream of the Indiana Jones ball rolling across the field, and so we did it. And when we did it, like the first time I saw us actually do it, I was like, we just did that. Like, that's crazy, you know? So I think that was probably one of my favorites. But over the years, when we first started dancing, I remember that too, and thought, there's something here. This is getting people's attention. There's something here. Just a little shimmy, but they're like, what just happened? And that's what it is, you know, what just happened. We did a Kiss show one year where we actually had a band on the field.
I remember that show.
And they played along, and they dressed like Kiss, and then we formed Kiss. We formed the letters Kiss. Now, this was we just did a Kiss song a couple years ago, but this was back.
Oh, was it?
And in order to get on the field, I couldn't come up with a way to get on the field. So I thought, how are we going to do this? The kids like stayed on the sidelines, and then the announcer said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Pine Grove High School Cardinal Band," and they ran like they were running to a concert. You know how when the gates open, ran across the field. We had a couple kids fall a couple times, but people were like, "What is going on here?" You know, and then that happened, and we had the puppets a couple years ago. That was just something that was crazy. But
so last year was Disney because you take the band to Disney.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? What kind of what you like punishment or something? I mean, how many kids went this last trip?
Kids, we had 87.
87 kids plus a bunch of chaperones. Right. You've done that. What's the biggest group you've ever taken? Biggest
group ever was 230 people.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was 4 bus loads. It was just so full families, like, you know, family of 6 went on the trip, and that was my second year. Second year going to Florida, and I had that many people, and I was like, yeah. The first year we flew, I said I'd never do that again. I'll never fly again. And then we did this, and I was like, oh.
And never lost a kid.
No.
That's such a cool thing to do for the program. You go down there, you have fun, right? Like that also grows that family culture probably. And then you're going to the parks and stuff, and you know, you're also marching and putting on shows.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. And in my first or second year there, I think it was my first year there, I think I got dropped a Florida trip on me when I took over the band. Like, it was already in the progress, so we're going to go. We came out from a different direction, came out from the front of the park. It was a nighttime parade. And we walked around the hub, and you came up, and the castle's all lit up. There's people, just wall-to-wall people. And literally, the flute player standing in front, she was my band president, And I looked at her, and she kind of panicked and went into this like just drew the rest of the band in. I'm like, no, spread out, you gotta look big. And it was so overwhelming, like all of those people that are there looking at you and applauding for you, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, again, I had kids crying when we got back. I was crying. I was like, I couldn't believe what just happened here. You know, my dad was on that trip with me, so like he got to see me do that. And it's probably I help other bands do it because I think it's the best experience you can have.
That's
like,
cool.
You know, because you could walk down the street of Pine Grove and oh great, you know, you're a Pine Grove band. You can walk, same with Pottsville. You go to Florida and someone's going to recognize you and they're going to appreciate what you do. That's a whole different ballgame.
That's cool.
Yeah,
and that's core memory, man. Like that's something people take lifetime for their life. They'll remember that.
Yeah.
It's a big experience. And for probably some kids, I mean, being transparent, like, or you know, it is what it is. Probably some kids from our area, that might be the only time they ever get.
Yeah, most likely
to Florida.
Yeah, and I had an experience one time with my family on a Florida trip, and we're sitting on the bus going to one of the parks, and family in front of us. It was like mom, dad, and I think there were grandparents over here and kids, and the mom's telling the little kid. I got choked up on the bus and I don't even know these people. And the mom's telling the little kid, you know, the first time Mom was ever here, we were in band and we came down here and we marched, and she's telling her the whole experience. And I'm like, you know, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, that's why you do it. So, you know, nobody else kind of heard that, but I did, and that's why you do it. And somewhere there's someone from Pine Grove that's telling their kid that. I hope, you know.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure in your year, there's some moments where you're like, what am I doing? I'm so sick of this.
Year?
I don't want to see a kid.
In my day. But,
and those are the moments where it's just like, this is why. That's your why.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So part of this is too, I don't know if everybody could do everything that you do though, because you have that showman piece.
Yeah. Like I said, that's what it's that entertainment value. So
which makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's like, I remember going to one of the first rock and roll Christmas concerts you did. So you do, for those that don't know, if you're listening in the county, this is a show you're probably not going to get tickets to because it sells out all the time.
Yeah.
But if you can get a ticket to it, you should go. So you put on this huge concert. It's at Pine Grove's High School's auditorium. It's the rock and roll Christmas concert. You play, I don't know how, it's a good concert, like 2 hours maybe?
It ends up being almost 3.
Almost 3. Yeah. And with an intermission in there. It's all to raise funds for the marching band and the music programs at Pine Grove. You pack the place out. Right. It's wildly entertaining.
We try.
I remember that one of the first times being at that concert, and I had seen you in different, you know, atmospheres. You're the marching band guy, the concert band leader. You talk sometimes in your roles in those things, but I never seen you like be on the stage. Yeah. And this is one where you involve the band, but these are like real musicians playing music to entertain the crowd and raise money. And I remember the first time watching that concert and you being there, and I'm like, looked at my wife and I'm like, Ken is funny. Like, he works a crowd. And I'm somebody who really appreciates that because I speak in front of people a lot, you know.
And you are very good at what you do as well. I know you don't want to hear that.
It takes a little... Like, I have to make sure that I'm engaging the crowd. Or let's just be honest, everybody's going to fall asleep in 5 minutes, you know? So I'm watching this and I'm like, man, Ken's got it. You just know how to work a crowd. You have the kids having fun and laughing, the younger people having fun. You get the old people laughing. Like, everybody loves when you have a microphone. Is that something that's always been a part of you? Have you?
Yeah, I was a DJ through college.
Really?
And I started in high school, and through college, right up until my daughter was born, we were working. We probably did 40 weddings a year, and worked every single weekend, sometimes Friday and Saturday.
Really?
It put me through college. It was my money.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's what I did. I was the MC type of guy. I had another guy and we played music, but we didn't the same concept. we weren't just there to play music. We played games. We did little skits. We did like if it was I had characters that I would dress up as. If it was like an adult party or a Christmas party or something like that, I had characters I would dress up as, and there's some kids over the years that have brought back videotapes.
No!
And like, we just realized this is you, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. You know, so yeah, I've always been, but I always DJ'd, and then my daughter was born, and I needed time. I couldn't do it anymore like that, so I stopped doing that and got in a band, and again, it was just the same thing. My dad was always. That's what he did. Even when he wasn't in a band that was touring, he was a single act or we were a duo. And then he would work the mic and he'd work the crowd and he'd know how to do it. And he, would go from one song to another and do this and do that. And I just, okay, I get it. I know how to do this. And we just did a show. We just did a show a couple of nights ago. I had an 83-year-old woman dancing with me up at the stage. And we came off and... Cody, the guitar player says, "We're gonna get sued. I know we're gonna get sued." And I'm like, "Cody, I know where the line is. I know that line. Let me go.
For people that are listening, I wish I could be more engaging, at work or whatever. Is it just your personality, or is it just fearlessness? Or
I think it's a little bit of that, and I do believe in the switch.
What's the switch?
My wife will tell you I'm not that guy at home.
Really?
I'm not. I'm not trying to make everybody laugh. I hate when I go to a party and everybody's like, "Tell us a joke," or
You probably get that a lot.
Yeah. Or impressions. Like I'm known for my impressions, and they're weird impressions. So they're old former teachers, or there's and everybody that will go to a class reunion. They're like, "Oh, do this, teacher." Okay, but no, there's I believe in a switch, and once when you need to be that person. And it doesn't matter what it is. My first job was elementary school, teaching. First month was terrible. I was scared to death. These little kids are terrifying me. Like, how is this, And again, a principal came to me, and he's like, "Look, you're an entertainer. I know you are. Flip the switch. Just do it. Just be that guy. And then they'll be controlled by you." Okay. Flip the switch. Now I'm just going to entertain you for 42 minutes. I'm going to entertain you about music.
Yeah.
Okay, the class was over. The switch went off. Take a breath. Next class comes in. For 42 minutes, I'm going to entertain you. And there are bad days and good days as a teacher. Flip that switch. When they walk through the door,
you just got to turn it on.
Turn it on. And I could be in the worst mood, and sometimes it gets me. I haven't always been good at this, but flip the switch. And so the same thing happens. I'm backstage before that rock and roll show. I'm terrified. I am nervous. I can't eat. I can't drink. I'm pacing back and forth, trying to remember what I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. I'm going back and forth. And then as soon as that moment is, flip the switch. Here I come. Get ready. And then, okay. I've had people, the old thing, look over them. Look at the exit sign. I like to look people right in the eye.
Yeah, me too.
I look them right in the eye.
Yep.
But then you have the downfall of, if you look them in the eye and, oh no, I'm talking about them, so now I'm looking in the eye,
That's really got to be encouraging for people, because there's probably people, I feel the same way sometimes. So, there's a lot of, I try to memorize most of my message or talk before I go up. It doesn't always happen because I'm doing it back to back to back to back a lot of weeks in a row. Right. But for the most part, I try to and I'm gifted. Well, I shouldn't say I'm gifted. Whatever.
No, you are.
I have this thing where my long-term memory is terrible, but God has blessed me with a very good short-term memory. So I can pretty much memorize most of a talk, and then with just a few keywords written down, I can flow through it pretty good and be pretty accurate. And but there's times before where you're and I don't even get nervous public speaking, but there's times before where it's chaotic, right? It's man, my brain just farted and I lost everything that I'd worked on all week.
Yeah.
And this thing I had memorized, I can't remember anything about it. While I'm sitting there minutes from getting up. And that's when you kind of feel the panic, tension, and you're wondering, is this going to land? Are they going to receive this the way I thought it was going to be received? Is it going to flop? And you got all these kind of things, but then you got to
Mm-hmm.
You just got to like shut that down, like flip that part off and flip the
Yeah.
other part on and just go like, let's see what happens.
I absolutely hate, like at concerts and talking to the crowd there. I absolutely hate that.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous.
But you're so good at it.
Well, I don't think I am at all. When I walk off that stage, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did I say this wrong? I can't remember kids' names. I can have that kid for 5 years and be like, you
Yeah,
know,
just
like,
face on it.
and I'll look at them and be like, you know, on this solo was, and a lot of them know it by now, so they'll like mouth their name to me, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you know. So I hate that part, but when, like in a show,
Yeah.
no, I feel like that's what I'm there to do. So that's my switch, flip it. And you know, one of the things I've been drawn to you about, I know you don't want me to turn this around, but drawn to you about is when I'm watching your podcast or when I'm watching your sermons, you're talking to me. You're talking to me.
Yeah.
You don't know me. You and this was even before we like really even met.
Right.
And that's what kind of drew me to you was like, you're talking to me. Like I'm sitting here watching this podcast that's just thrown out on the internet, and you happen to say something and you kind of look at the camera, and I'm like, you're talking to me. Like he's talking to me. And there's a technique in drama that I show my kids too, that we watch this guy and he tells this story, and all of a sudden he looks at the camera the right way, and the kids all feel it in the room. They're like, he looked right at me.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. How did he look at you? You're over there. You're over there. No, he looked right at me. I felt it. He looked right at me. And I get that from you. And that's kind of like why, you know, even when you're at like the Rock and Roll Christmas, the back of the room paid the same as the front of the room.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you. I want you to be engaged up here
Yeah.
with what we're doing. You're part of this show.
Yeah.
You're part of this. And
I like that whole idea of flipping the switch, because I think all of that is captured. That feeling you get from me, you know, I think all of that is captured in the same moment. Mm-hmm. It's setting aside all the chaos in my mind, in your mind, all the panic, all the fears. Am I going to fail? Am I going to mess it up? That switch flips that off, and it's like, this is about them.
yeah. Well, it's theater.
Yeah.
It is. Everything is theater.
How can I help them, serve them, make them laugh, entertain them?
Yeah.
And so it's essentially, that's the beautiful thing I think about. I don't hope this doesn't sound wrong. The beautiful thing I think about what you do, what I do, you know, when we're on stages, mm-hmm. is when we get it right. And I'm not saying I always get it right, and I'm sure you would say the same thing. But when we get it right, it's really like an act of love or care towards the people that are mm-hmm. there. It's saying, I want you to feel good. I want you to get this value. Yep. This is about you. And I think that's where people say that to me a lot. I feel like you're talking to me. I think that's partly because I'm talking to me, mm-hmm. you know, in the kind of stuff I'm creating.
Right.
That stuff that's hitting my heart, and I'm just trying to convey mm-hmm. that to other people. And I think it's part that, and it's also part like, you genuinely care. I genuinely care about the people that are in the audience. Mm-hmm. I genuinely want their lives to be better. And you genuinely want them to have a great night and go home and mm-hmm. laugh and experience joy.
Yeah. And even the kids, like it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's what they've just done. And I've for a long time, I even had that thing where, and you probably know, maybe you didn't notice this, but you're one of the last ones usually there at a concert. I've known, you know, your family's kind of like.
It's because my wife never leaves.
Well, I try very hard not to come out.
Yeah.
I go back, I change, I clean up some stuff, I do whatever, and I try very hard not to come out. Yeah. And then when I feel like my wife's probably ready to leave and she's, you know, why didn't you come out? Then I'll go out a little bit. Yeah. Because it's not about me.
Right.
It's not. If you think that I just created that, okay, thank you for the compliment, but it was created for them, with them, by them.
And that's the magic. Oh, that's the magic. Yeah. I think that's probably even the magic of Disney, right? Like, and what people got to realize, whatever they're doing, like I talk to people that struggle with communicating to boards in their workplace, mm-hmm. people that are trying to figure out, you know, parts of their lives. It's like, man, if you just make it about the people around you, you will find the success you're looking for. You'll step into the purpose you've been missing. You'll find your thing. Like, just try to serve and care and make it about those people, and you find it comes back.
Yeah.
So my favorite impression, I want to talk about your band in a second and shows you have coming up. But before we get to that, serious musical business, the Rock and Roll Christmas, when you busted out Meatloaf, Dashboard Lights, dude. You even texted me that night. I was like, I think I texted you like, great show. And you're like, sorry about the Meatloaf. Yeah. I'm like, that was my favorite part, man.
Because we actually debated that. We debated that 15 minutes before going on about taking this out of the show. And I'm like, because there was that sense of, this is a Christmas show. What are you singing about? If you really listen to the lyrics, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I said, listen, somebody asked us to do this. We nailed it. We in rehearsals, we nailed it.
Dude,
so
you had
do
the
it.
Hair, you had the shirt.
Well, that came the next thing. They're like, why don't you go over the top then? I said, okay, then let's go over the top. And
perfect. You were a sweaty mess by that point in the show.
Yeah.
Like, it could not have been better.
Yeah, they all make fun of me because of all the costume changes I do. They're like, you're the diva. I'm like, no, I'm on stage with three of the biggest divas there are. I've worked with these ladies for a long time. They're divas.
You don't have to name names.
Yeah, but they're like, you're the diva. And I'm like, no. And they're like, you do like 10 costume changes a show.
Like, if you're going to do it, why not go hard?
Yeah.
Why not do it big?
Yeah.
Like,
and why not?
Some of my favorite people, I think they live by that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you got to know the lines there. You don't know the lines there if you're not getting close to it.
Yeah.
You know, like push it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I've like last year, the mirror ball coat. Like, I just walked down on stage like, I decided to tone it down a little bit this year. Why not? You know?
It works so good.
Yeah. So it was just like, let's go over the top. Let's do it. In this show, let's do it.
Just go for it. Do you cultivate your creativity, or is it just part of you?
I don't know. Define that. Like,
you're creative.
Do I work at it, or?
Yeah. Is it something you have to work at, or is it just something that hits you?
It's usually something that just hits me, but I think it's within a process too of letting it hit me.
What do you mean by that?
Like, when sometimes I try too hard.
Hey.
And then I just can't. I get a block.
Yeah.
Or I get some, and then just sitting back and saying, okay, let's watch this. Let's see how this happens. Let's go to like our show that I wrote for this year for the band. Yeah, it's probably 90% done, but there's 10% in there of just let's watch and see what happens, and then we'll add this later. And I've started to do when I used to write band shows. I used to be like, I'm going to set aside this amount of time, and I'm going to get this show done in a day, or I'm going to get it done in a week. And I started to realize that, like, by the time I'd get to the last part of the show, I was just burnt. Even if it was a 5-hour stretch, I was just burnt. And then that part I knew that wasn't my best work. So now I started doing where, like, I'll wake up in the morning in the summer really early and just listen to one song and then start to kind of draw, and then, okay, and then this comes. And then when I get that one song done, no matter what, even if I have a thought, I'll write the thought down, and then that's it.
Just
put it away. And then the next morning I get up and do the same thing.
So you have a process for it.
Yeah, for that. Now some of the other stuff, like,
it just comes.
Yeah.
But you've learned, like, if you want to see more creativity, you gotta kind of let it breathe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you start with something, and then just all this comes over here. Look at this over here, you know, and yeah.
Creativity is like a fine wine.
Yeah. But just the other day, I was working with the kids. I have these ideas for this show, and it's okay. It's a box of ideas. They sit down and they start playing for me, these 3 kids in particular, and I start realizing the ideas I have are small. Like, they're going to take them bigger. And then I'm like, hey, do you think you could do this? Yeah. Would you be willing to? Oh, yeah, I'll be willing to do that. Okay. And it goes bigger.
And the box gets bigger.
And the box gets bigger.
This box, so that's a really cool way to frame that.
Yeah.
You have this box of ideas that you hold loosely.
Yeah.
You're not just dying on them. They're not written in stone.
No. Well, that's surprising. Like, okay, so we've already started Rock and Roll Christmas.
Yeah.
But it's only emails. And it's emails to everybody. And what do you think? We played these last year. Like, I just sent out the list of all the songs we've ever played, 79 songs we've ever played. Off of this list, what do you guys like? What are your favorite songs to play? Then they'll send them back to me, and then I'll look at them. Oh, okay, well, I don't think I want to do this one again. I don't think I want to do. Well, maybe we'll do this, but we'll do it different. Okay, all right, here you go. I got an idea for this, but I don't know if it's going to work. So let's see. And then we just throw like maybe 10 songs together, and then from those 10 songs, someone will come to rehearsal and go, "Did you ever hear this song? No, let's listen to that." Now there's a new song.
Yeah.
The whole, like last year we did that. My grown-up Christmas list.
Yeah.
And we used all of their photos, their kids' photos.
That was awesome.
That wasn't how that started. That was supposed to be, can we reach out to the community and get servicemen?
Yeah.
That became such a roadblock of finding people who would give us pictures and everything else. So then I'm just sitting there and I'm like, and then I think it was Bruce brought in like his picture of like 1940 whatever. And he's like, look at this, and then
Your agent Bruce.
Here we go. That's it.
Just clicked.
That's it. Everybody, let me see your pictures.
Yeah.
And send them to me and see what we can do. And then that just became a whole idea. And they didn't get it. The band did not get it. They kept pushing back. Why are we doing this song? I don't like this song. Can you trust me on this? If we put your pictures behind, this is going to be like people.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, and they and then finally like they saw it in rehearsal and okay, and that's kind of a struggle too of trying to get people just to
buy in.
Let me go. Yeah, let me go. Let me get going. So
yeah.
That's
cool.
I had that struggle early in my career too, because from being from Pine Grove, who's this? This is the kid that we suspended 4 times. This is the kid, and just,
so how do you push past that?
You don't. 30 years and I'm still doing that. I'm still meeting people who can't buy into what I've done now. I'm still meeting people who come to face and their kid is the first time in the band. They went to school with me. You were this person. Okay, but look what I've been doing for 30 years.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. But then you gotta get them to trust you.
So you just got to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It takes people time to build trust, to see it, especially if you're a visionary person, which you are. You're a visionary person. You can see around the corner. You can see what's going to work before what other people see what's going to work. And if you're that kind of person, it's the hard part is not a lot of people get it.
Yeah.
You have to have other visionary people in your life that maybe aren't even in your immediate context, but that can support you even from afar and go like, yeah, they won't get it, but I get it, and this is going to work and just do it. And that's part of it's kind of lonely when you're it can be kind of lonely when you're a visionary. I'm a visionary person. Because until you have built that trust up, man, you get fought on stuff and you're like, I know this is going to work. I know this is what we're supposed to be doing. And I'll talk about why. And you preach the why and you show them and you bring them along as best you can. But there's still people that are going to be resistant. Yeah. And that's part of the hard part, I think, about.
But again, not to draw a reference to Disney.
Yeah.
But, one person told me, I was getting ready for an interview. And I was concerned because I didn't know anything about special education. I'm a band director, And I said to them, what do I do if they start asking me questions about special education? And the teacher said, she was a special education teacher, she said, smart people don't know all the answers. Smart people know people who know the answers.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I suddenly I'm I start looking at Disney. It's one of my things, whatever. And I start reading about him. He had all these visions.
Yeah.
He couldn't do them.
Right.
He could draw. Okay, well, I'm going to get you, and you're a car manufacturer, and you're an artist, and you're a set designer, and you're a clothing manufacturer, you're a costume designer, and you are all going to be my Imagineers. And now here's my idea. How do we do it?
Yeah.
And some of the rides that are still in existence today were done by people who had never built a ride before, but they had enough faith in him. He saw it, and said, you can do this. Now let's do it. And that's a little that kind of sounds corny and stuff, but I look at that. I don't think
it sounds corny at all.
That's the whole fascination with Disney. It's not Mickey Mouse and it's not all that stuff. It's the fact that he had a dream and he had this vision, and then he got these people to help him do it. And
And
he's the man.
leadership.
He's the name.
Yeah.
But it's about all these other people, and
I think that's really important. Knowing that you can surround yourself. I have to do it because there are so many things I'm terrible at. Like we have 2 campuses. It's a complex organization, lots of moving pieces, and I'm not a detail oriented guy. I can't do it. Like I'll sit in meetings with people, and I'll be on the phone with somebody. I just got made fun of by my executive pastor, who's a detail guy. I surround myself with these people because I have to. And I was on the phone with this guy who's presenting something to me, and I'm like, all right, hold on a second. I'm going to put you on speakerphone. And Jim, our executive pastor, started laughing like quietly in the room just because he knows like I'm done. Like the guy lost me in 2 minutes. Yeah. And that was me nicely handing the ball off to Jim without trying to offend this guy. Like, dude, I'm not even listening to a word you say. Yep. You got to pull people in and find the people that can fill the gaps that you can't do. Yeah. Find the people who, if you're not a creative person, find a creative person. Yeah. If you're not a detail person, find a detail person. If you're not a dance choreographer. Yeah. And one of my favorite things about you, we haven't even talked about the drama productions, which I have people that attend here, and we're recording this in my office in Orangeburg. They're not a part of Pine Grove, but they will make sure they see, and it's not because of my kids. They'll make sure that they go to the Pine Grove drama productions because they're so much fun and entertaining and so well done. And they will go every year. And they tell me about it. And so you run those shows. And one of my favorite things about those shows is that you have students, a student, I think, every year who does all the choreography for all the other students. Yeah.
We are 95% student run. Yep.
Which is so cool. And talk about not just, nobody would know it. Like you look at it and you go, this is professionally choreographed. And now you have some very gifted students in your program.
Yeah, you got to try to find the best.
You have very gifted students, so that makes sense. But still, like that's a big risk. You're handing the ball off to kids and saying, here, run with this. And it's such a professional performance. Everybody enjoys it. Yeah, and you're teaching those kids they're not just having fun and a special moment in a show, but for crying out loud, they're going out into the world. Yeah. They've already led a bunch of people through some very difficult circumstances, trying to get 9th graders to dance, Oh, and by the way, I still think about at least every other week, one of your students doing the, what's the song? Centerfold song.
Oh, yeah. Angels of Centerfold.
Centerfold song. That delivery, performance, the choreography, the creativity just in that one song, I loved it to death.
And again, like that's a moment where you're watching it and you're going, out of context, we're in trouble. This song is going to get me in trouble. I'm going to get a parent phone call. And then you put it in that context of the show and how that lead character reacted. Yeah. And it no longer becomes that
he flipped
inappropriate.
The switch. No,
it no longer becomes that. It becomes fun. Yeah,
he flipped the switch because unless he's like that all the time,
not at all.
He seems to me like more of a quiet, reserved, intellectual type kid.
Yes, very much so.
And you somehow got that kid to flip a switch, and he went all in on that dance.
Yeah,
and it was freaking awesome. Yeah. How did you get him to flip it?
We could see him doing it gradually.
Yeah.
And then finally it was just like, go. Just go. Just stop worrying about everything else and just go and do whatever. And then he showed up like almost a week before and went into that. And the kids went crazy. Like they just responded so well to it that he knew he was doing the right thing. If he would have waited, but he did it in front of them and they knew he was doing the right thing and he felt confident in it. And that was the key, to make him feel confident. Because, you could tell kids, especially kids, you could tell them a million times over, do this and I guarantee it's going to work. Yeah. And they don't trust you. They don't, But the moment they have that confidence, that's a great tool, man. If they have the confidence.
So your band, Rusted Rhythmn. You guys have been doing a lot of shows.
Yeah. And again, something that just kind of, I had a band before that. I was in 2 bands before that, and COVID kind of ended it. Yeah. And once COVID hit, we all kind of went in different directions. And I've known Cody, since he was in high school.
Yeah.
So I taught Cody. One of the first times I ever saw Cody perform was at a high school talent show. And we just, Jordan was in the band, so I've known how talented she is. And it just kind of was a fluke one night of, hey, do you want to get together and do something? And it really was for Jordan. It was like, let's put something behind Jordan. She's very talented. She's young.
Yeah, very very talented.
And then we did it, and then it kind of caught, like, people were like, this you need to do this more. We were only going to do it once. We were going to do it at Red Lion.
Really?
And they're like, you need to do this more. You need to do this more often, get some more songs. And like, okay. So we had a little 4-piece, and it was working well, and it was catching on. And then my son had played with me in Rhythm and Brews before COVID hit. And he was even playing back in Mindset. Back in those days, he was just like 7 years old when he first played with us. And
he's very talented, too.
yes, he is.
That kid is...
He is.
I remember watching... Hold that thought. I totally interrupted.
No, that's great.
But, like, I remember watching him when he was little, and you would stick him on the drums in those concerts, and I remember going, like, dude, this kid is special.
He had something. He did. And I would say to my wife, like, I remember the first time I ever gave him a song, I gave him Tom Sawyer, Rush.
Yeah.
Go listen to this. Go play it. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm not going to hear from him in a week or whatever. Like, later that night, Dad come up and listen. I think he might have been 7. Double bass drum, playing the whole thing. And I just thought, what is this? Like, okay, how can this be my retirement plan?
Yeah. No, for real, like,
yeah.
He's that good.
And then same thing with him. COVID hit and wiped him out. Like he wanted nothing to do with the business anymore. Didn't even want to play drums. Didn't want to be in the band. And so Cody and we were all getting together and we were playing and we were at Jordan's graduation party and we left and Brandon stayed and Cody turned to him and he said, Cody might have been having fun, and he turned to him and said, "You need to be our sound guy. You need to be our sound guy. We need a sound guy." And Brandon looked him dead in the eye and he goes, "No, I'm going to be the drummer." And Cody literally walked away from the party and called me. He said, "Your son just said he's going to be our drummer. Did you know this?" I said, "No, you're telling me something." He's like, "Well, when he gets home, you stop him coming through the door." So he came home. I said, "Brandon, did you tell Cody you're going to be the drummer?" He goes, "Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I need to get back to it. And you guys have it, so I'm going to do it." I said, "Oh, okay. So now what does that leave for me?" Okay, I guess I'm coming back up front. Well, then it just turned out that we've got such a nice, she sings a song, I sing a song, she sings a song, and we go back and forth, and
it works.
It's working.
That's
it's working.
Cool.
It's fun. It's enjoyable. There's no stress to it. It's all guys that are just,
a super quality. Yeah, I mean, you got super talented people.
Yeah, but they're just also like laid back. Yeah. That's what I liked with Rhythm and Brews. Those guys too were just like, we're laid back or just.
So how do people see the show schedule or find out?
We're on Facebook, Rusted Rhythmn on Facebook.
You got any shows coming up?
Yeah, we're let's see. We're off this week. Next Friday, we're at Carsonville
That'll
Hotel.
Probably be this Friday because this will publish Tuesday.
Okay, so I think it's the 8th.
Yeah.
We're at Carsonville Hotel.
Nice.
That's a great venue, nice outside restaurant venue. We are frequently at the Coney Island in Pottsville.
Nice.
I think we're coming up like the following week. I think we're there. I'm trying to think what big ones we got.
Jump on Facebook to find out?
Yeah, jump on Facebook, yeah.
Rusted
It's a fun
Rhythmn,
group. It's all family, family music, 80s, 90s. Even it's like Bon Jovi to Beatles. It's 50s and 60s all the way up to whatever, yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah, and it's a great outlet. It's a lot of work, but it's a great outlet. I love it.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. You had to give one piece of advice to somebody younger who's coming up through, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're frustrated trying to figure out where they belong, what they should be doing. What's your one piece of advice?
This is so cheesy. Just live in the moment and try to be happy. Because as a 52-year-old, I'm still frustrated.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure me out. And I'm still trying to figure out what's my next step? And but I'm enjoying what I'm doing as I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And I think people do get so worried about what's my future, where's my goal, what is that? And while you're so focused on that, you're missing everything that's passing you, and there was your exit, and you missed it because you're trying to get here. I think that just, I think that's every single day. I've said a million times, keep moving forward, but that's kind of the same idea. Every single day, I don't know what my goal is. Every day, I don't know what my goal is. But I'm there trying to figure it out. And that's the creative side. You said that watch it happen. Here it comes. I'm not so focused on this is the end product as much as I am how are we going to get something. And I think that makes the end product even better.
Yeah, I don't think that's cheesy at all. I think people are so wound tight and stressed out and worried and frustrated about stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that whole, just don't miss it, stay in the moment, and enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Man, tons of people need that. That's advice that, everybody should go apply, right now.
Yeah.
Not everything is so serious. Not everything is... life doesn't have to be this stressful or uptight. Stop creating more of that for yourself by pushing, too far ahead or worrying about stuff you don't need to be worrying about.
One of my favorite actors, this is our motto for this year. Show up, know the text, and have an idea. He said that a director gave him that advice. Never once said, how am I going to be the best actor I could ever be? None of that advice says that. Show up, be there, do what you need, be where you're supposed to be ready to go. Know the text. Okay, if it's a script, know the script. If it's the music, know the music. But know what you're doing and have an idea. That means your mind's not closed to anything. Have an idea. And you're going to be better at what you do. And so that's our motto this year. Those things. And I've been preaching that since the kids came in. And, I pick up on little thing. I do that. I look around and try to find motivation from other people too.
I think that's great.
But it all applies. Keep moving forward. Just don't have a destination. Just...
don't miss it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on here, man.
This was a joy. This was
your story is this has been cool. I've learned a lot about you in this process, and it's fun for me to sit back and just go, wow, your past, your personality, your giftedness, all of that has just meshed into all of your experiences. Have meshed into making you who you are and living out what I would say is a purpose that is a lot of fun to watch. I'm sure your life has frustrations just like everybody else's life, but there are moments where you don't often get to look at people and go, that's exactly what they were made to do, and it may change tomorrow or you get another job option. But there have been lots of moments in the past, however many years I've gotten to watch you do your thing, where I'm like, that is...
Well, I appreciate that.
Exactly what that guy is
I appreciate
supposed to
that
do right now.
I appreciate that because
So thanks for bringing joy to so many people, man.
Wow.
It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And thanks everybody for checking out this episode of the I'm Here For It podcast. I'm so here for it. Whatever you got going on in life, no matter how crazy or how fun or how exciting life has been, I'm here for it. Our guests are here for it. Slow down. Don't let the moment pass you by. Just let it breathe. Let whatever you're going through, let your creativity breathe, and have some fun. I hope this episode helps you do that. And if you like this, if they're meaningful, please give a like or subscribe or a rating. We'd so appreciate it. I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the I'm Here For It podcast. Until then, see ya. Thanks for tuning in to the I'm Here For It podcast. Just a quick reminder, the thoughts and opinions shared on this show are our own. They don't necessarily represent the thoughts and opinions of our employers, our places of business, our families, or maybe even people that don't want to be associated with us anymore. And honestly, sometimes we even question our own thoughts and opinions after these shows have aired. We're not doctors, therapists, lawyers, experts in anything except maybe overthinking things. Well, maybe some of our guests are some of those things, but for real, This podcast is not about offering you professional or therapeutic help. We're just here having fun. It's for entertainment purposes and maybe a little bit of education. Yeah, we hope it can make your life better and make you smile and encourage you a little bit. But seriously, this is more like a group chat that you didn't know you needed. So don't take anything too seriously from us without at least double checking it with someone who actually knows stuff. Stay kind, stay curious, and no matter how weird it gets, we're here for it.